Our next guest, he's a funny guy. He starred in the comedy adventure series Better Late Than Never and appeared on TV shows The Masked Singer and I Can See Your Voice. He was also on Last Comic Standing and had his own Comedy Central Presents special. Comedian and actor Jeff Dye is here live. He's going to be headlining at the Punchline Sac this weekend. Welcome to the show, Jeff.
Thanks for having me. I love what you've done with the studio.
Oh, do you like it? We wish you could be here in person because that's always a little bit more fun. I just read off some of your credentials, some of the shows. You've been in a lot of shows. You've done a lot of different projects. You were also on the reality show Too Hot to Handle. Ooh, what's that one about?
I was barely on Too Hot to Handle. I was only on there to trick these kids into thinking they weren't on the show Too Hot to Handle. So I was on the show for about 30 seconds. But I'm surprised that even showed up on the internet.
Well, what is Too Hot to Handle? I mean, what qualifies as Too Hot to Handle?
I don't know. They just take a bunch of good-looking people that are promiscuous and they put them on like an island, and then they try to make them not touch each other for long enough so that they form a bunch of more genuine relationships. And like I said, I was barely on it. I was a host for like 30 seconds.
Oh, man, Jeff, you could be too hot to handle. Sounds like what you just described is the formula for a lot of reality shows right now. Talk about some of your other projects you're really excited about.
Well, mostly right now, since the pandemic, I've just been touring a bunch. I got a couple things that I'm working on that I'm not supposed to technically talk about, but that'll be out soon, and I'll be able to come back on here and promote. But I also, I've been on E's Nightly Pop last night, which is why I'm not in studio with you right now. And then, yeah, just stuff like that. I'm just happy to be touring around and doing stand-up comedy for right now.
Yeah, you know, the other day when Instagram and Facebook were down, did that freak you out? Were you one of those people who got really upset?
I was actually more just confused. I thought it was only happening to me. So just sitting there going, what's wrong with my phone? But other than that, no, it didn't bother me. I've been pretty good about not being on social media in the last 8 months anyways.
I know. I started out that way, too, and then I had to find out on other social media channels that it was down because everybody seemed to gravitate over to Twitter. But that's pretty good to know. Now, what is this I hear about you being a Bigfoot enthusiast? Is that right?
Yeah, my manager did put that in my bio. Yeah, I just like talking about it, and I like annoying people with it. I also like believing that we live in a world where we haven't discovered everything. So if you come to the shows this weekend in Sacramento, and this goes out to anybody, and you liked the show or whatever, you want to have a beer, don't come up and talking about stand-up. Let's talk about Bigfoot.
Let's talk about Bigfoot. Now, how many times have you been out to Sacramento? Are you looking forward to this weekend's shows?
So I have done comedy in every state. I've headlined every state. I've been to, I always joke, because I've done this for 15 years, that I've been to like every city. I have never performed in Sacramento, so I'm super excited. This is my first time.
Oh my gosh, you're like, you're like a Sacramento virgin.
Yeah, facts.
So what can our local audiences, what can they expect? Talk about your comedy. What's your style?
Yeah, so I'm observational. I talk about life. I do like to say I'm a positive comedian. Like I'm very full of love, and I want to be positive and share that with everybody. But I will say that doesn't mean bring your kids, and it doesn't mean that I'm not going to say curse words. You know, it's not a clean show, but it is a positive show, and it's a show full of love. And you'll never hear me being mean about something, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily clean.
Well, you say you're observational. So, like, what's your biggest observation as you go from like the East Coast to the West Coast? I mean, what are the things people are talking about right now that you're making fun of?
Well, I talk about everything, so I know that sounds vague, but I mean, I talk about life, I talk about women, I talk about dating, I talk about marriage, I talk about kids. I like to talk about pretty much anything in life. So when we say observational, it's just us going, I don't know, we talk about everything. That's really what I'm saying.
Have you been talking a lot about the masks? I mean, it's pretty confusing here right now. You know, you've got people saying, oh, maybe we can start taking them off. Maybe we should keep wearing them. I mean, it's a big debate.
Yeah. Yeah, you can find a lot of a lot of problems on both sides of it. That's why it's pretty annoying. I'm not a big fan of the masks. You know who does like the masks? Ugly people. They love them. They're big fans of them.
You know, the mask has been pretty useful for, maybe hiding some certain facial expressions and kind of like being incognito. I'm sure you get recognized when you get out and about, but we will be looking for you this weekend in Sacramento. Your first time here, we've got to welcome Jeff Dye. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. You can get more of this funny guy and all of his projects at jeffdye.com.